All right, let's go over finding levels real quick. How to find key levels. So this is WILDS. It is Wednesday, September 10th, 2025. This stock has gapped up and spiked today. It is, I believe, the biggest percent gainer on the day. It's currently up 550%. But we're interested in finding levels, trying to find out how we can find this, where this stock may bounce at. So, in order to find levels, we just look left. We look at the history of the stock. And when we look left, we are looking for volume. Where's the most volume traded at? So we see back here after hours yesterday, it started moving up and it had some volume. So you're looking at that volume there, knowing that I'm sure there's some shorts jumping in all up in here. So we know that. And then you see this consolidation. That's probably a good level to mark, right? Because you got all this volume back here, then it pulled back and volume has died off. So we know there's probably a lot of shorts above this level, right? Above this high. And there's probably a lot of longs below this level, right? Below the low. So knowing that, like I said, we just keep looking for volume. So this is the highest volume, and then we got another pop here, kind of dump, pop. We got some more volume coming in. I'm sure shorts were some shorts are probably buying back in here, so or taking positions, right? And then back here you can see they start getting squeezed. So that's kind of what we're looking for when we look for these levels. But again, we're looking for the highest volume. So let's go back here. So if we're just looking at pre-market today, you can clearly see that the majority of the volume is right here. So we get this run up, and then all the way to about right here's the majority, right? The highest candle. So you got your push here. So what I would be looking for would be there's different levels within here. So wherever the highest volume is, right? We got this push up and then this consolidation, and then you can see shorts clearly got squeezed out here. So I would start from probably like this high, and I use my rectangle tool, and probably this high and either this low or possibly even this low. But with the majority of the volume here and right here, I'm going to go with this low here. So boom. And then let's extend this over and see where we are at on the chart. So you see I just went the most volume here on this candle. Got quite a bit of volume here as the breakout. So I'm just going from the high of this candle to the low here, right? And if I don't see that, right, if I didn't see that, on this, we got this high here, right? We're pulling back. I'd be using this high and this low, right? And then let's extend that. We'll just kind of, we got two areas we can kind of look at. We'll see where that lands. So where the most volume was traded, we got this area right here, right? From pre-market. Now you can clearly see it's trying to hold that level. Here it just barely broke and recovered pretty quickly. So, and then let's go to the, we'll pull that up here. So again, you can see it just kind of barely broke there and then recovered pretty quickly. And if you look on 15-minute, not the clearest, you kind of look at a 30-minute chart here. We've got the setup, right? The run up, the pullback, and we're in that area. We're starting to get that hammer candle. Here's your low on that. You start getting higher low here. You could even kind of start buying on this higher low if you wanted, right? So higher lows, buying anywhere from about, let's just say $5 to possibly $5.35 max. And then you're using this low, which is 441, right? This low right here as your risk level or your stop. You can even go to the 1 hour chart, see the same setup pull, or the run up the pull. Kind of got a hammer. It's just a lot clearer on the 30-minute, but it's that level, right? I mean, this one's a little more challenging because we have this level. We also have this level back here, right? Kind of this level or this level, right? Because we got a lot of this volume right here. We got the most, like, the start of the most volume right there. So I'd go with this candle and probably this candle or this candle. I look at this candle, I see that's at the top, so I'm definitely not going off there. I mean, I would use this up here as my resistance, so I see the most volume up there, and then I'm just going from this top to this bottom, right? This bottom candle here. We'll lay that out, and then let's go edit, move this over. Okay, so now that's going to be my resistance level for this stock, right? So that's gonna be where the majority of the shorts are. Shorts, right? Got stuff there, shorts, and we may come up here, test this 8. If we can get through there, we're getting a squeeze, right? But I mean, it's I try to keep my trading very simple. I'm just looking for this pattern here, and I'm looking at previous levels where the most volume was traded, right? That's how I'm finding my levels. Highs, lows, where the most volume was traded. And then that's the range I'm using to start looking for this setup to pull back to. Once I see that and it's in my area or my zone, my potential support zone, right, from this level, and I start looking for higher lows on smaller time frames. There's that low, there's that low, and then you can clearly see a higher low here, so start buying in here, right? 530. And then you're risking that low. If this goes, great trade. If it doesn't, you stop out and move on to the next one. But levels. So like I said, majority of the time on these morning gappers, I am looking at pre-market and the previous after hours to find where the majority of the volume was traded, and that consolidation area where the majority of the volume was traded is going to be my support level or potential buy area, right? So that's it. If you guys got any questions, please leave them in the comments, and I'll be happy to answer them as quickly as possible.